Yeah, glitch the guarantee. E&E, put your boy shit. Glitch, nigga. Shit, I'm about to flood the streets like when the levees break. Criminal minds, my Garcia can navigate. Flowing while I'm blowing this gas. Nigga, no breaks. Niggas not seeing me ever. I mean, no days. Fuck around and end up gold. You getting misplaced. E&E, the shit that I claim. You dealing with grace. Took over the game by storm like Rain's mixtape. Thankfully, I been up in smoke like my mixtape. Counting cheddar shit. I'm about to make a grilled cheese. Niggas be faker than bad bitches with good weeds. On my John Wick shit like Keanu Reeves. Replacements won't be enough. You need the whole team. I've been a G since I could finish my ABCs. Kept it a buck, so real niggas look up to me. This butcher boy shit get crazy when it's sick of me. I'm coughing out these dope bars till they sick of me.
Can't get rid of me, still can't find a remedy. Still blowing palmers if it comes to Hennessy. E&E, we own our shit independently. When I go out on a limb, I take extremities. I can see right through on transparency. Heard their self-esteem low, insecurities. Now or never, like glitch the guarantee. What's the recipe? King L's Reflection 3. All these chapters in my life, you can turn the page. Books can't tell you my story, gotta live a day. Glitch got my back, yeah, you can copy that. Man, we control the seat, you can copy that. Leave your whole state red like Republicans. Putting fire on the track, now it's bubbling. Butcher boys, E&E, you in trouble, kid. Add first 100 mil, you can double it.
Let's go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. Automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Flow sick, corona, jealous in the motherfucker. Can't even take a step, that's how far I trust you. This black boy turned to shining king under pressure. West side bad jacks, I took more to measure. Shave the extras, that's business. Started feed street blues, what I taught. Royal blood flowing free. Power on my mind. Knows the gang is kind. Read between the lines. It was in my eye. If they ain't got real lines, it ain't hard to spot a counterfeit. Undefeated, ultra real, Fern Gully Mountain shit. Couple hot shots turning to frozen margaritas. Even better when it's served with some flawless features. Next year they gotta pay for these flawless features. Flawless victories from the flaws that they teach us. Now my flow imitate how I board the plane non-stop. The little J gon' take over with my time side.
Yeah, I get right to it. My nigga, we beg your pardon. We putting niggas back in boxes. Yeah, they be harder. My flow be retarded. Sick, I need hella help. My groove came back. This must be how Stella felt. We just started kicking it like a yellow belt. We all made it to the pros. This is how LaMelo felt. You better yell out help. Here comes the double team. You catch me in the spot, then you know that the boy is clean. The Louis V look mean with the magazine. So if you try it, you get shot. No vaccine. If you asleep before I came, then I'm the caffeine. I pull the jokers out the deck. Yeah, there ain't no laughing. In CEO fashion, we sticking to the business. Wouldn't even let a vegan knock me off my chicken. Something about the VVS when the sun is hitting. Should be flashing like the lights when you getting
Let's
tickets.
go, let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go. Let's go. All the hustles getting money, let it show. Let it show. It's automatic, nigga, how we get the dough. Get the dough. If it ain't paper, then we probably gotta go. Gotta go. Put your boy shit, nigga, let's go.
Yeah. What up? You already know what it do, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's your brother, Virgil Berry, a.k.a. Stats with the Facts, you know? We back at it with show number 3 for the day. We going in, man. Show number 3 for the day. You did. Shout out to my brother, Red Supreme TV1, the inspiration to do. I got it from him. Shout out to my brother. Y'all make sure I go subscribe to my brother, Red Supreme TV1 and Red Supreme TV2. You did. Kelly Stacks with the Facts. You hear me? Tap in, walk with us, y'all. I don't know we're going to get to it. You know what I'm saying? Welcome to the show tonight, man. This is the last one for the night. You know, I've been reined in all day. I got a lot of things accomplished today. I got responded to a lot of important emails. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing, man. Just say that, man. You know, you go through the fire so you can come out burnished. You know what I'm talking about? You did. But you already know what it is tonight, man. We continue it. You know what I'm saying? The breaking down of the UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability, plan for global sustainability, you know? And we at number 12, right? Responsible consumption and production. Right. Responsible consumption and production. Right? Now, I've been telling y'all, I'm going to sit up here trying to tell y'all, man. Pops, what's good with you, man? You know what I'm talking about? I got my pops in the building. Shout out to my pops, man. You already know we coming at y'all again. This last Spiritual Root Sunday, last night was fire. You hear me? You already know, man. Pops in the building. You did. We got the Spiritual Root Sunday going on. Lester, last night's show was fire. Go catch it on a replay. Breaking down witchcraft. You feel what I'm talking about? Beautiful show. Powerful show. Go check it out. You know what I'm talking about? Next Sunday is going to be even more powerful. You did. Tonight we are discussing UN Agenda 2030, Plan for Global Sustainability Protocol, or Sustainable Development Goal number 12, responsible consumption and production. Right? Right? How long I've been telling y'all about this stuff, man? Responsible consumption to these people means recycle. Their idea of cutting on waste is to recycle our waste. OG in the building, what it do, man? Hit that like button, y'all. Click on the bell, subscribe to this page. Hey, look, y'all see that Patreon floating at the bottom of the screen, man? Go ahead and subscribe to that Patreon, Jack. Shout out to my brother, Sir Ismail. Go ahead and subscribe to that Patreon, man. I'm telling you, about to lock in, and it's about to be some fire exclusive content that is not going to be on YouTube on there, man. I'm telling y'all, I'm only keeping it at $5, man. Just tap in, $5, man. That's it. It ain't going to get no higher than that. $5 is going to get you all access to exclusive content. You hear me? That's not going to be on YouTube. I ain't going to add no tiers. I'm going to keep it at a $5 rate just for y'all so y'all can tap in and be a part of that. You hear me? I ain't going to create no other tier on Patreon, no $10 tier, no $20, $50, none of that. It's going to be a straight $5 tier access. You feel me? And once I, get settled into the new situation, you know what I'm saying, we're going to have a lot more stuff going on Patreon too, on the live stream side, man. About to have things going on, man. Tap in, walk with us, man. We monetize, man. You know what I'm saying? A lot of opportunities start coming your way, man, you know what I'm saying, via email, you know what I'm talking about, when you get monetized, man. I just let you know that, man. You hear me? And it could turn into a very lucrative situation for you real fast, man. You just want to make sure you prepare for it when it comes, because there ain't no if it's going to come. They're going to give you a chance to see if they can work with you, man, see what you're going to do. They're going to see how you handle it. Is you going to let the unintelligent artificial intelligence outsmart you? You did? Or is you going to be able to box cleverly? You know, responsible consumption and production, right? What do y'all think that means? My brethren and sisters in the audience tapping in. What do you think responsible consumption and production means, according to the United Nations? Mind you, which is not supposed to have any jurisdiction on anything we got going over here in America, but they do on all levels. Ask yourself how, right? What do you think responsible consumption and responsible production means, according to the UN, the United Nations? What do you think that means? Leave it in the comment section. Right? You know?
We all desire the most pleasant life for us and for our loved ones. But it seems like the only way to enjoy our well-being is the excessive consumption of natural resources. And the estimate for 2050 is that we will need 3 planets to maintain this model. What if there were another?
By 2050, they're projecting that to keep up with the rate of consumption on planet Earth, it says it's going to increase so much that we're going to need what 3 Earths could produce to feed, basically, clothes, shelter. All of this is a part of production and consumption. Specifically food, though. 3 planets. They're going to need what 3 Earths could produce to maintain the population. Is that what they're saying? Let's go.
Real option. There is, and it substantiates sustainable. We all desire the most pleasant life for us and for our loved ones. But it seems like the only way to enjoy our well-being is the excessive consumption of natural resources. And the estimate for 2050 is that we will need 3 planets to maintain this model. What if there were another real option? There is, and it substantiates sustainable development. There are many aspects of consumption that, with simple changes, can have a great impact in our society, such as reducing up to 1/3 of the world's foods that end up in the trash, or saving CO2 emissions, and saving $12 billion a year by using high-performance light bulbs. We should all learn from Richard Adams. He created the movement of fair trade while he was setting up a business of fruit and vegetable imports in India. The aim that farmers could sell their products without being ripped off by intermediate agents. When the oil price went up and transporting food was almost impossible, Adams went to work with wood and yucca, since they were much better alternatives because they were produced by women who needed double the amount of help. In 2006, The Independent qualified him as one of the 5 people that most actively had participated in making the world a better place. Little changes are the aim for a deep transformation. 1. Consume local and seasonal products. They're fresher and much more respectful to the environment. They hardly need transport. As well, you will be supporting local businesses. 2. Buy and sell second-hand products. If you visit those shops, you'll realize that new things aren't necessarily better. 3. Participate with your children in workshops about good practices and circular economy, eco projects, eco services, and eco design. You'll enjoy and learn together. 4. Make your home more sustainable with low consumption bulbs or LEDs. You'll reduce your consumption by 50 to 80%. 5. Support the work of food banks in their logistics and diffusion, promoting to small shops to donate their surplus products. For a future where we can all build together and no one can destroy our resources.
OG couldn't have said it better. It means you consume and produce what they deem responsible, what they tell you to do. I'm telling y'all, man. This is why they bringing us all of this cloned, lab-grown meat. This is why they're genetically modifying all the vegetables, all the animals and livestock, just changing up the industry. Right? You know? Responsible consumption. And think about what they just was talking about in that video. I'll just play it for y'all. All right. It's crazy, man, when I be thinking about this stuff. I'll be, what they deem is responsible for you to be consuming and producing. All right. Now, think about when I be talking to y'all about REFICUL, right? Which is the recycling of fecal matter, or Lucifer spelled backwards, right? And when they talk about responsible consumption, they're talking about responsibly consuming the products that they produce for us, genetically modified, because they say eating meat is hard on the environment. They're saying that living in the type of buildings we live in is hard on the environment. I want you to understand that sustainable consumption production extends beyond just the food we eat. It goes into different areas of our life. I want y'all to think about that. All right.
You might think that over the last couple of decades, production patterns and consumption choices have become much more sustainable. Take, for instance, today's LEDs, which use 10 times less energy than old incandescent light bulbs, or flat-screen TVs, which are much more efficient than the clunky petted ray tube you might know from your grandparents' house, or cars, which are now more aerodynamic, lightweight, and have more fuel-efficient engines than back in the 1990s. There are many more examples of products that have become more efficient in recent years. With all these innovations, surely the environmental impact of air consumption has gone down, right? The answer is no. Despite all these improvements, air consumption and production patterns have overall become less sustainable. But why?
Lance Parker, what it do, man? Y'all sit up there and hit that join button, man. Sit up there and join the become a member, man, to the situation, man. Support your brother.
May drive increase in consumption. Improvements in production patterns have made many products like cars and TVs more efficient and often cheaper too. And in response to this, we have been consuming them a lot more. Instead of one light bulb, we are now using multiple LEDs. And
now, think about how the light bulb switched up, y'all. All right. Think about how all the technology switched up, like within the past, let's say, 20 years. Notice how they completely phased out incandescent light bulbs, which were actually the best light bulbs we could use, seeing as how they don't emit dirty electricity. And they dealt with alternating current versus direct current. Like with these LEDs, these new bulbs that we be getting, that's just leaking dirty electricity amongst other radioactive, very not good things. Also creating the type of light that's damaging our eyes. You feel me? Increasingly making us blind. Right? Coupled with the blue light we getting off of these screens. Yeah, man, Lance Parker, I've been looking at that, brother. I've been looking at that, brother. My brother LP in the building. You did. Smash that like button, click the bell, subscribe to the page. Y'all sit up there and join the page, man. Listen, sharing your social engineering. That thing that's going on in Maui is very similar to what happened in California and everywhere else where there's these fires, man. What's going on in Maui is crazy. What's going on in Maui is crazy, and we're going to get to that tomorrow. Because tomorrow or Wednesday, we're going to be discussing, right? Wednesday, we're going to be discussing, I'm going to have the show a little bit early on Wednesday because I got to work Wednesday. It's a Dixie Chicks concert in my city, and I got to go do security up there. So Go get this bread. But we will have an early afternoon Wednesday show getting into Sustainable Development Goal number 13, which is climate action, right? But it's only right that we're doing responsible consumption protection as we're going into that, because that's what this is all about, right? I want y'all to understand when it comes to responsible consumption and production, I want y'all to know that, what you would think that would mean, really is not what it is. You know what I'm talking about? Tap in, walk with us.
More places. New TVs are becoming larger and larger, and making cars more fuel efficient allowed people to trade in their smaller cars for larger SUV-type models, and made the smaller ones affordable for people who previously did not even own a car. As a result, roads are becoming more congested, making our commute even less sustainable. A rebound effect like this wipes out all of our gains in eco-efficiency. Hi, my name is Sami Kara, and I'm a professor of Sustainable Manufacturing and Lifecycle Engineering at the University of New South Wales School of Mechanical and Manufacturing Engineering. Sustainable development must consider environment, society, and economy all at the same time. The well-known IPED equation supports an analysis of the challenge that's central driving for
impact equals population times consumption times production. Let me pull this up on the screen for y'all real quick. I'm telling you, man, the prime energy science is math, right? See, it got a different meaning, different stuff. And here it says total impact, population, affluence, technology. Intelligent patent analysis tool. Right? This mass different iPads. Right? Interpiece advisory team. There it is again, affluence technology. I'm looking for one that says population consumption production. Man, y'all better pay attention to this stuff, man. And here it is right here. All right. Told you they got this stuff down to a science. The IPAT equation is a widely used simplification of the factors causing environmental degradation. The equation is I equals P times A times T. This is short for environmental impact equals population times affluence consumption per person times technology impact per unit of consumption. It's crucial to remember that the three factors are intermediate causes, not root causes. Now that's that part of it right there is the catch-22 right there. The three factors intermediate. The three factors are intermediate causes, not the roots. Right. So these can interchange. That's very interesting. It's very interesting. Let's go.
Opposed to the development of sustainable production and consumption patterns. It presents the total environmental impact I as a function of the central drivers represented by human population P, human affluence A, which can be interpreted here as a shorthand for consumption, and the technology factor T, which can equate to here with production patterns. To get an idea of how challenging it is to ensure environmental sustainability, consider the following conditions for a sustainable climate change impact I in 2050. According to the IPCC, we need to reduce our greenhouse gases emission in 2050 by up to 70% of the current level to have a reasonable probability to stay below the 2-degree limits for global temperature rise set by the Paris Agreement. Meanwhile, the global production peak.
See, they're trying to, this is what they're doing, y'all. I want y'all to pay attention to this too, man. What they're attempting to do is interchange the climate with the environment. And I'm telling y'all, they are not the same thing. And they're interchanging it so they can incorporate and sneak in these new draconian zoning and ordinance laws, the little stuff I'll be telling y'all about with the Wildlands Project and all, Wildlands Urban Interface and all of that. This is the corporate takeover of everything, the land, the weather, and everything. Right? They're what are they doing? They're corporatizing everything. You know?
Is predicted to increase by a factor of 1.4 to reach 9.75 billion in 2050. Average affluence A, and therefore consumption 2, is expected to increase worldwide thanks to the economic growth of developing nations, and here a factor 2 seems to be a conservative estimate. To achieve a 70% reduction in impact I, the technology factor T has to compensate the increase in P and A, so the T needs to decrease by a factor close to 10. It's important to remember that the factors in the IPAD equation are not independent. Consumption and production, or affluence and technology, often go hand in hand. And as the examples of LEDs, TVs, and cars illustrate, they can create a rebound effect in which major improvements in efficiency.
Now, one of the major things about these sustainable development goals that they keep talking about is carbon emissions. Carbon emissions and, specifically carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is the gas of life. Without it, there is no life as we know it on planet Earth. It will cease to exist. We need carbon dioxide. So why are they having talks about net zero carbon emissions? Right? If we want to reduce carbon emissions, we have to reduce what? If they're saying they're trying to make us believe that there's too many people on the planet. In order to reduce consumption and production under responsible consumption production, I keep telling y'all about resilience. That means we're going to be made to be able to consume and produce more but consume less. And by less, they don't mean less in quantity. They mean less in quality. Hence, genetically modified, 3D printed, derived from animal culture meat, synthetic meat. Genetically altered and modified produce. Right? I want y'all to understand what is going on and what they mean by this stuff, man. When they're talking about responsible consumption and responsible production, it's responsible to consume the stuff that we make. The 3D copy printed chicken. I mean, I don't even trust eating chicken breast no more. I'm cool on chicken breast. They already genetically modified the chicken so much now to where you be getting funny looking pieces of chicken when you buy chicken wing things. You go to B-Dubs and chicken be looking crazy. You hear me? Bananas. Let's go.
They are outweighed by major increase in consumption. SDG 12 specifically addresses responsible consumption and production and aims to ensure sustainable consumption production patterns with some of the targets concerning sustainable management and efficient use of natural resources, halving of food waste, waste reduction through prevention, reduction, recycling and reuse, environmentally sound management of chemicals, dissemination of information about company practices that support sustainable procurement and consumption. Irrespective of the product or the industry, an important tool in understanding responsible consumption and production is life cycle thinking, because it's not enough to develop solutions for environmentally friendly end-of-life management of products such as recycling. Products provide functions by using back and foreground systems. Foreground systems are those systems specific for the operation of the product along its life cycle. In contrast, background systems are generic. They support the operation of the foreground system, but are not specific to that product.
I want y'all to understand that, man, what he just was talking about. And they're desensitizing us with this stuff right here at the gas pump with the different gas options we have. Right? And I want y'all to understand how this is going to put us into electrical vehicles, because they're going to say that due to having so many access to so many different fuel options for vehicles, the production of these new fuels, corn, ethyl, alcohol, whatever it is, methanol, whatever it is, that's becoming unsustainable, because now we have to create industry around them to refine them and make them. How about we just use electric cars? You hear me? I'm trying to understand where all this is going and how we're being cajoled into a certain way. You hear me? The societal living, man. I want y'all to be able to connect all these SDGs, sustainable development goals, and be able to see how we're being led into a social credit system, monitored, surveilled, ran by unintelligent artificial intelligence, all connected through and by the smart grid. And they send it up right in our face, man.
Let's take electric cars as an example.
See what I just say?
System, there's the entire life cycle.
You see what I'm saying, y'all? I've never watched this video. I just know where they're going with this stuff. I can see down the timeline. Everything electric. They stole Nikola Tesla's technology, and they figured out how to make it into a just like the Matrix, a neurological, electrical, holographic, illusory prison system, surveillance system. Oh yeah, man, that's what you do, Lance Parker, man. I'll be telling you, I'm a nerd in certain areas, but not all areas, man. Like, I'm familiar with stuff, but certain stuff I'll be needing help with, man. And when it comes to Lincoln doing all that SEO type stuff, I'm not well versed and learned in all of that stuff, man. I'm familiar with it, but I ain't, You need SDG 12, man. Responsible consumption and production. All this responsible production and consumption is leading us to electrical society and depending on electricity. Now, where's all that electricity going to come from to power a fully automated electric reality? Remember when I told y'all about Diablo Canyon and Kamala Harris and Michael Peavy and Michael Peck and Solarian and Pacific Gas and Electric, all that fiasco? It's going to come to a head here recently. I'm telling you, man, I wouldn't be living in California. Let's just say that, man. I would be moving from Cali. If I lived in Cali, I would get up out of there. Anyway, that's probably a very similar situation. I guarantee if I look into a very similar situation, what happened in Maui in Hawaii. I don't know if wildfires are something that's known to happen in Hawaii. Never heard of it before in my life, but that means it's not possible. I mean, it's not possible. But yeah, though, man, listen, they're trying to get us into the electric everything, man. Let's go.
Electric vehicles from materials, manufacturing, use, to end of life. In the background system, there is energy, electricity, or other form used throughout the electric vehicle's life cycle. Although energy is critical for the operation of the electric vehicle foreground system, it's also generic and used by other product systems such as TVs, houses, etc. When we think about sustainability of electric vehicles, we need to consider not only the foreground system, but also how the foreground system interacts with the background system. In the electric vehicle case, the foreground system can have a lower environmental footprint. However, if the supporting background system relies heavily on fossil fuels, then the environmental impact shifts from tailpipe emission to upstream energy supply.
I keep telling y'all about REFICUL. They're coming up with technology that is making energy out of waste. That is REFICUL all day. I keep telling y'all the Ouroboros agenda. We're being made to consume ourselves in every way possible. They're coming up with technology that uses the exhaust from a man. And they think they slick at this stuff too. Like we can't, like it's those, like we can't see what's going on, man.
Other examples can be found in other product systems, as simple as beverages in plastic bottles, such as Coke and Pepsi. In this case, the main attention has always been on the beverage container and how they should be treated. In reality, the environmental impact hotspot is in the farming of the corn syrup used for making the beverage, which is in the background system. But a life cycle perspective is not enough to achieve SDG 12 because it ultimately assumes that consumption and production are independent, which is rarely the case. Remember the rebound effect? A strong increase in the coefficients of the products and technologies is clearly needed to ensure a sustainable level of environmental impact. But examples like LEDs, TVs, and cars illustrate that a focus on eco-efficiency alone is not enough to ensure sustainable consumption and production in the future. There's a need to analyze the overall outcome in terms of environmental impact for a product or technology and relate it to the share of the operating space that this product or technology can claim, considering the size of its market to ensure that the improvements lead to the solution that are not just more sustainable than what they replace, but sustainable in absolute terms. Solutions then might be to develop products never to be discarded or to provide this service without having to own the product. The point is this: technology alone cannot achieve the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals without considering society and its ever-increasing influence. As the rebound effect shows, we are not only need environmentally friendly production patterns, we also need to rethink consumption. So the buck stops with you. Think about your own consumption.
We need to rethink consumption. What do y'all think they mean by that? What do we rethink how we consume? 3D printed meat from cultured animal cells. You know, using our pee and our doo-doo and putting it through a REFICUL process and using that as fuel, or shall I say fuel. Using that as fertilizer to grow genetically modified food and weird column looking things, like how they got certain splots and stuff. I'm really looking into this stuff, man. I keep telling y'all, man, we being set up, man. You know, we being set up, man. And I want y'all to understand that through this UN Agenda 2030 is how they infiltrated all the governments, man. All right.
One of the top priorities of our world is decoupling economic growth from resource use. This means that a rise in our living standards should not increase our use of natural resources. SDG 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, aims to find new solutions and ways that enable sustainable consumption and production patterns. My name is Karthik Krishnamurthy, an MBA graduate here at the Rotterdam School of Management, and I am the proud ambassador for SDG 12. Product manufacturers have a great responsibility to contribute to this goal, as they have a direct impact through the products they sell and design. Yet we, their customers, are just as critical because of the choices we make every day to buy one product over another. One of the targets of SDG 12 is to halve the global food waste by 2030, both at the retail and consumer level and during the production and supply chain process. Firstly, sustainable consumption is the idea that while responding to your basic needs, it is still possible to go for options with minimal impact on the global environment and on the situation of future generations. For instance, when buying something, one can follow the 5 R's. 1. Refuse. Do I really need this? 2. Reduce. Do I need this much? 3. Reuse. Do I have to throw it away now?
See what I'm saying, man? We're being made to consume ourselves, and at the same time, we're being made to deal with ever and decreasing resources and access to them. This is what resilience means. That's why I tell you how they switched up what resilience means. Resilience no longer means the ability to bounce back from adversity. It means the ability to increasingly deal with less and less resources and access to these resources. That's what resilience means now. And this is what all they're talking about when they're talking about responsible consumption and production. Just like OG said, man, it means you consume and produce what they say is responsible, right? Recycled everything. Lab printed meat from cultured animal cells in petri dishes mixed with biological solution and I wouldn't even. I'm cool on chicken breast, man. I don't even know if I eat chicken breast anymore. You know, mushrooms is popping. I might want to get. They put us. I have to transition over to the mushrooms, man. They got them big boy oyster mushrooms. They got the lobster mushrooms and stuff. There's alternatives out there, man. I'll be thinking about what they doing to the food, man, and I'll be like, God damn, man, we can't eat nothing nowadays, man. They're destroying our food. You hear me? But fortunately enough, there's ways that you can get around certain things if you just put enough effort into it. Trust me, I know. Let's go.
4. Repurpose. Can I use this for another purpose? And 5.
See, repurpose. That's recycle. Right? Can we use waste products for another purpose? Look at all of us on the planet. We all boo-boo and we all pee. Do you understand the levels of waste that is produced by all of us humans on this planet on a daily basis? Not to mention the animals and the livestock and everything else. Do you understand the levels of waste that's produced on a daily basis? Just what this reality was designed to do, because it is a result of LSD's contact with the earth. Pops, what you talking about, man? Son, what? You did. Tap in and walk with me, y'all. I want y'all to understand what they doing with these SDGs, man. You understand me? I want y'all to understand what they're doing with these sustainable development goals. Especially with this one right here, number 12. Let's go.
Recycle. Can the materials be used for something else? Yet, the vast majority of us do not favor the most sustainable option when purchasing goods or services. The value action gap is the discrepancy between one's willingness to act in favor of the environment and the actual action taken by that person.
Now, I want y'all to pay attention to how they keep throwing the environment in here. But when we actually look at what they talk about when they refer to environment, it's actually things to do with the climate. I want y'all to understand how they interchange these words because they want us to think they mean the same thing and they don't. Let's go.
In the coming videos, you'll learn more about sustainable consumption. First, Anne-Catherine Klesse, Assistant Professor at the Department of Marketing Management of RSM, will explain her current research on the potential of language to encourage sustainable consumption choices. Then, Michael Wilde.
They want to create language. I keep telling y'all, man, once they start changing up the language, taking words out of the lexicon, adding words in, conflating words, compounding words. This is Orwellian newspeak. This is, man, I keep telling y'all, man. We're about to start having to say double plus good out here, man. They're changing the language up, man, which means they're changing the program up, man. I want y'all to be hip and be aware of what's actually going on. Do y'all understand the levels that we're being manipulated on, man? I don't think a lot of y'all do, man. And I wish y'all just tap in and walk with me. We're going to get there, man. Let's go.
Sustainability and Communications Manager at AOSTA, an international distributor of fresh organic fruits and vegetables, will introduce us to the challenge of consumer communication. Second, sustainable production refers to the producer's responsibility not to exhaust natural resources and ecosystems through their operations. Because the global population is still growing and developing, our need for goods, even the most basic ones, is expected to grow while our natural resources capacity remains limited and constantly decreases.
Right.
Alarmingly, we are producing ever more waste, especially in...
Man, listen to what I'm telling y'all, man. So what is happening is going to be a one world government. That is why so much is happening and changing the system. Yeah, man. That's what I've been telling them for a long time, Pops, man. They're setting it up right in our face, and they're going to use YouTube specifically to bring in the ministry of truth. That's why us real ones got to go so hard and smack the algorithm upside his head, man. You feel me? The ministry of truth is being established through YouTube, and we cannot let that happen. Or is it too late? Tap that like button, man. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Sharing social engineering. We're going in breaking this stuff. Don, you hear me, man? What y'all know about SDG, Sustainable Development Goal 12? Responsible consumption and production. Let's go.
Large cities. This is because our economy still relies on linear production patterns. The life cycle.
So think about all the trash that's produced all over the world, man. They're coming up with processes to make and use our waste as an energy source. Do you understand that, man? You understand how demonic that is, man? You understand how just nasty and disgusting that is on so many levels? As all to convince us that we're running out of natural resources, they're going to use unnatural resources. Keyword unnatural. To use as an energy source. Now think about that. So what type of environment you think that consumption of that type of energy, what type of environment you think is going to thrive off of that? Off of REFICUL. Basically off of shit. Excuse my language. know, I ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing, man. It is what it is. You feel me? It is what it is. My thing is, we don't have to continue to let it be like this, though. I mean, we literally have the ability to change everything, right? Did y'all know that? Put an 11 in the chat if y'all know that. How many of y'all know that if we really wanted to change stuff up, we could just do it ASAP? You know, tap in and walk with us, man.
The cycle of a product starts with the extraction of resources, which are then transformed, sold, used, and finally end up as waste. But as the founder of Goldfinger Factory, Oliver Waddington Ball, puts it, waste is just another resource in the wrong hands. By closing the loop between the input and the output, and between the resource and the waste, our economy can be one step closer to resemble a real ecosystem. And businesses can profit from that by adapting their procurement processes and the resource efficiency of their products. In the coming video, Ferdinand Jaspers, adjunct professor of entrepreneurship at RSM and program director at Erasmus Center for Entrepreneurship, will tell you more about the role of entrepreneurship in bringing about innovations within larger companies to stir them to fulfill SDG 12. Harold Trepper, program lead, circular economy, and MT member of the group sustainability at Philips, will explain how his company is implementing a full circular economy strategy. He will also tell about the organizational challenges that such a shift implies in a large multinational firm.
Multinational form. See, they setting it up right in our face, y'all. And they trying to sell it to us like it's cool and it's going to help us and we're going to somehow benefit from this. When we absolutely are not. Absolutely are not designed to benefit from this. You know, my man OG said, but most people will just go along with what is happening and ask how bad can it get. Exactly. You know, it's going to come a time, brethren, sistren, you're going to no longer be able to hide your scary ass head in the sand with your whole booty in the air exposed to the public like the tornadoes and hurricanes and earthquakes ain't still coming. And somehow if you just keep your head tucked in, you won't have to worry about what's just definitely for sure coming. That's crazy. And it's soft as hell too. All right. Right. Yeah, man. It's crazy.
Natural resources abound on our planet. However, humans have not used them properly, resulting in overconsumption to the point where we consume far more than our planet can supply. If the population reaches 9 billion by 2050, 3 Earths will be needed to provide the current lifestyle and the needs of everyone. This is where all economic players, government, business owners, and consumers must make life-changing actions to address overconsumption and overproduction. Sustainable Development Goal 12, or also known as Responsible Consumption and Production, is one of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals created by the United Nations, which aims to persuade different countries globally to practice responsible consumption and production. This goal also promotes proper handling of the world's resources in order to conserve supplies for future generations and adequate productions for all without harming the environment.
SDG 12 has various targets or goals that it wishes to achieve by 2030. Here are the following. Implement the 10-year Sustainable Consumption and Production Framework. Sustainable management and use of natural resources. Halve the global per capita food waste. Responsible.
What? Global per capita food. Y'all better pay attention to what's going on, man.
Management of chemicals and waste. Substantially reduce waste generation. Encourage companies to adopt sustainable practices and sustainability reporting. Promote sustainable public procurement.
Implement the 10-year Sustainable Consumption and Production Framework. Sustainable management and use of natural resources. Remember when I showed y'all the Wildlands project? Man, I keep telling y'all, man, y'all think this stuff is a game, man. Y'all probably think like this nigga, man. I'm telling y'all, man, this is UN Agenda 2030, man. This ain't no joke, man. This ain't no joke at all, man. Do you understand me? This here ain't no joke. This ain't no joke, man. Implement the 10-year Sustainable Consumption and Production Framework. Sustainable management and use of natural resources. Halve global per capita food waste. Responsible management of chemicals and waste. Responsible management of chemicals and waste. That is strictly to do with the water supply, as in most of the contaminants in the water supply is waste and chemicals from the pharmaceutical drugs we consume, and also the animals that we eat. Not to mention the vegetation or the produce that we eat. It's crazy, man. All of it laid out in UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Sustainable or substantially reduce waste generation. How are they going to do that? And I'm asking y'all, if it's down there 8+ billion people on the planet right now, they want to substantially reduce waste generation. So let's do some math here, y'all, right? If they want to reduce substantially waste generation, how are we going to go about getting that done? How are we going to substantially reduce waste generation? Well, they're coming up with some new type of procedures that don't make waste, or are they finding ways to reuse, recycle the waste products that are a result of the especially now coming in smart grid? What do you think the electrical waste is going to be frequently? Y'all thought about that? Y'all ain't thinking about these frequencies, man. These frequencies are byproducts in certain industries' refining process. Man, this is crazy stuff, man. I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man. This is crazy, man. You hear me? I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man. The Wildlands Project, brother. You hear me? And sisters. The red areas are for core reserves and corridors, little to no human use. The yellow areas you see is the buffer zones, highly regulated use. The orange line you seen is the border La Paz sidebar agreement of the NAFTA 200-mile wide international zone of cooperation. This is a 200-mile wide area right here all along the Mexican border. The green bits are for normal use or human settlement zones. Look how they're loosely sparse throughout the country. You see more red and yellow mixture than you do of anything else. The pink ones is allegedly where Indian reservations go, and the black or grayish looking ones is where the military reservations will be, according to the Wildlands Project. A vital step in attaining sustainable development. Right? We're being made to consume less and less. But not only are we being made to consume less and less, what is that we're being made to consume? We're being made to consume energy products, energy, food made with REFICUL. And they're already doing that. It's damn near non-existent. And I keep telling y'all to go watch that episode of Nosedive and Black Mirror. I keep telling y'all to go watch that, man. We're about to be on the social credit system. No more money. You are literally going to be ranked on how you act and behave in society. That is going to determine what you have access to in society. Healthcare, food, shelter, transportation, employment. How you behave and how you act is going to determine where you work. Do y'all understand that, man? You understand what that means? Not what you went to school for. Not what you paid all that money to get in debt to go to college for. But how well you obey. How well you follow the script. How well you go along with the get along. You did? Y'all understand me? Go watch that episode, Black Mirror, called Nosedive. Right? That's how it's going to be. That's how it is in China right now. China is the map for the whole world, y'all. I want y'all to know that. Everything that's going on in China is planned to be projected over the whole world. They got social credit systems in place over there. Been over there for like the past going on 15 down to 20 years, man. China's been the petri dish for all of this. And I didn't even mean for that to rhyme. China's been the petri dish for all of this. You did? And all of this, I mean, experimenting with how they're going to actually implement the smart grid, the metaverse, right? And everything else. So we're going to practice on the world's largest population in the world's most dictative society, right? And they've been practicing for a long time. You know, they got high technology over there in China, but it's all designed to use us. And like I was saying, you see how I showed all that video and how they in China? We need to behave if we don't behave, we shouldn't be allowed to function in society. Basically, we have to do what the government says. They're like robots over there, you know, and they plan on this being the whole situation for the whole globe. You did. Now, which one of y'all gonna acquiesce to that? How you gonna be able to get along if you don't want to go along, man? You can't even, you know, this is why they're making everything the way it is with social engineer, social media. They want us to destroy ourselves, right? Or abortions. They want us to consume ourselves, right? Think about how we cancel people just because they have a difference of opinion, right? Begging for our freedom of speech to be taken away from us because we're offended by what somebody say. It is crazy that the play is still being used, the same tactics. You would think humans would be able to notice this stuff by now, but for some reason it's still working. If it ain't broke, then don't try to fix it. You did. Y'all better sit up here and familiarize yourself with this stuff, man, with the Wildlands Project, man. You did. Future projected map of these United States under UN Agenda 2030 for global sustainability. Yes, sir. They want to concentrate us into human settlement zones, smart cities. Have to start sleeping in Faraday beds out here, man, to block from all the frequencies. Crazy. Just crazy, y'all. You hear me? Absolutely insane, man. SDG 12, man. Sustainable Development Goal 12, man. Let's go.
Government practices. Promote universal understanding of sustainable lifestyles. Support developing countries' scientific and technological capacity for sustainable consumption and production. Develop and implement tools to monitor sustainable tourism. And lastly, remove market distortions that encourage wasteful consumption.
The three major problems that our country faces are: first, the wastes generated by the country, especially single-use plastics, have increased tremendously due to the lack of hazardous waste management systems. Second, rapid urbanization and population growth resulted in increased demand for resources and ecosystem services. Third, the poor monitoring system of the different agencies to assess the effects of the overconsumption of natural resources have led to a massive decrease in the food supply.
I thought so.
Here in the Philippines, did you know that an estimated 2,175 tons of food scraps in Metro Manila alone are thrown in the garbage every day? Consider how much food was thrown away that could have been used to feed hungry Filipinos. Given these issues, we can help our environment by encouraging everyone to practice sustainable consumption. Aside from that, we can also help by reusing things instead of purchasing new ones. In addition, toxin-free daily environments, as well as phasing out dangerous substances, can also help us in sustaining consumption.
If human activity continues at its current rate, we will need 3 planets to maintain our way of life.
They keep pushing this whole narrative. If we keep up our current rate of consumption right now, by 2050, we're going to need to have 3 planets worth of resources to operate as a society and function and thrive and survive and live as a society. Right? I want y'all to understand that. This agenda, man, is not a good agenda. It's very nefarious. You hear me? You feel me? It's very nefarious, y'all.
By 2050, we consume more resources than the planet can create, and growing levels of pollution and waste intensifies the issue. After transportation, business and residential energy consumption is the fastest growing sector of global energy use. Agriculture and the textile industry are the world's two most significant polluters of clean water. The OECD expects a 32% increase in vehicle ownership by 2020, as well as the doubling of global aircraft travel, both of which will result in higher carbon dioxide emissions.
How can we help and what can we do? Upon deliberating the problems occurring regarding responsible consumption and production, the European Commission worked on several fronts to achieve SDG 12 through supply chains and business practices, where they urge European enterprises doing business in partner countries to use ethical supplier chains and business practices. They also support the proper waste and chemical management. Sustainable consumption and production aim to do more and better with less by reducing resource use, degradation, and pollution while improving the overall quality of life. With the help of everyone, we can save resources and achieve a greener environment.
Together, we can make the world a better place.
I'm telling you, man, what they talking about, man. Y'all better understand what's going on with this UN Agenda 2030, man. You understand me, man? Wildlands Project, man. All the green parts. All the green parts. All the green parts, man. That's where they want the human settlement zones to be. Right? Look at that. I want y'all to look at where you see the green bits at. Right? Look. I want y'all to observe it and let it sink in. I want y'all to really understand what this map means and what it's saying. I want y'all to look at it, y'all. Look real good, real close. Let it sink in. Right? Let it sink in. Look at it. Observe it. I want y'all to look at this, man, and let it sink in. Look at the green bits. Look how sparsed out they are. Look how they're encircled and closed around the red bits. Now, these red bits are meant to be no human action at all, no human movement, no human involvement, no human use. It means humans ain't even going to be in these areas at all. But look how close these areas are to normal use or human settlement zones. And this is how they're going to be able to create the mega regions. I better pay attention to this stuff, man. I ain't sitting here just telling you all this stuff. All right. You feel me? You hear me, y'all? Human settlement zones. Y'all need to get hit to it, man. You did. They ain't playing no games with this. This is not no conspiracy. This is actuality. You did. This is what is going on. This is what's in the works right now. Right? Man.
Sound familiar? Did you know that we Americans have about 3 times the amount of space we did 50 years ago? 3 times. So you'd think with all this extra space, we'd have plenty of room for all our stuff, right? Nope. There's a new industry in town, a $22 billion, 2.2 billion square foot industry, that of personal storage. So we've got triple the space, so we become such good shoppers that we need even more space. So where does this lead? Lots of credit card debt, huge environmental footprints, and perhaps not coincidentally, our happiness levels flatline over the same 50 years. So I want to suggest that less stuff and less space are going to equal smaller footprint. It's actually a great way to save you some money, and it's going to give you a little more ease in your life.
It's a story about us, people, being persuaded to spend money we don't have on things we don't need, to create impressions that won't last on people we don't care about. What is the objective? What is the objective of the consumer? Mary Douglas asked in an essay on poverty, written 35 years ago. It is, she said, to help create the social world and find a credible place in it. Now, that is a deeply humanizing vision of our lives, and it's a completely different vision than the one that lies at the heart of this economic model. So who are we? Who are these people? Are we these novelty-seeking, hedonistic, selfish individuals? Or might we actually occasionally be something like the selfless altruist depicted in Rembrandt's lovely, lovely sketch here? Well, psychology actually says there is a tension between self-regarding behaviors and other regarding behaviors. And these tensions have deep evolutionary roots. So selfish behavior is adaptive in certain circumstances, fight or flight. But other regarding behaviors are essential to our evolution as social beings. And perhaps even more interesting from our point of view, another tension between novelty-seeking behaviors and tradition or conservation. Novelty is adaptive when things are changing and you need to adapt yourself. Tradition is essential to lay down the stability to raise families and form cohesive social groups.
Unfortunately, while this society is without a doubt the most prosperous and dynamic the world has ever created, it's got some major, major flaws. One of them is that every society has an ecological footprint. It has an...
And they're trying to convince us that we having such an effect on the environment, y'all. I want y'all to understand that, or they trying to convolute the effects of the environment on the climate. Of course, what we are doing collectively as humans is definitely affecting the environment. Is it affecting the climate? No. And it's not us that's affecting the climate. It's them messing with the climate. And they're trying to trick us into thinking that because things are messed up with the environment, largely what they're responsible for. Us humans individually aren't responsible for what's wrong with the environment. Even collectively, we're not. We're not creating all this crazy waste product from making all of this stuff like these big corporations are. I want y'all to think about that. All right, let's go.
Amount of impact on the planet that's measurable. How much stuff goes through your life? How much waste is left behind you? And we, at the moment, in our society, have a really dramatically unsustainable level of this. We're using up about 5 planets. If everybody on the planet lived the way we did, we'd need between 5, 6, 7, some people even say 10 planets to make it. Clearly, we don't have 10 planets. Again, you know, mental, visual, 10 planets, 1 planet, 10 planets, 1 planet, right? We don't have that. So that's one problem. The second problem is that the planet that we have is being used in wildly unfair ways.
Have you ever wondered where all the stuff we buy comes from and where it goes when we throw it out? I couldn't stop wondering about that.
5 planets. They just said earlier we're going to need 3 planets worth of stuff to make it to 2050. So is that 3 on top of the 5, or what they talking about? See, they're lying to us about a lot of stuff. You know, you ride through a country like America, you just see wide open spaces, you know, where no one lives. But they're trying to convince us that there's too many of us and that we don't have enough space and we don't have enough resources, which is why they're trying to get us to eat recycled food and drink recycled water. Right? We cannot go for this. We can't stand for it. We cannot bow down and acquiesce to it and comply. I want y'all to understand that, man. You did. I want y'all to understand that. Let's go.
So I looked it up. And what the textbook said is that stuff moves through a system from extraction to production to distribution to consumption to disposal. All together, it's called the materials economy. Well, I looked into it a little bit more. In fact, I spent 10 years traveling the world, tracking where our stuff comes from and where it goes. And you know what I found out? That is not the whole story. There is a lot missing from this explanation. For one thing, this system looks like it's fine. No problem. But the truth is, it's a system in crisis. And the reason it's a system in crisis is it's a linear system and we live on a finite planet. And you cannot run a linear system on a finite planet indefinitely. Every step along the way, this...
See, now they done sit up here and convinced us that we live on a finite planet, as if we could ever run out of resources. They want to keep the resources all to themselves. They don't want to share the resources no more. So they're going to trick us into thinking that it's not enough for all of us. When the earth itself is a living organism that constantly reproduces its own energy. Right? Huh? Tap in, walk with us, man. Let's go.
System is interacting with the real world. In real life, it's not happening on a blank white page. It's interacting with societies, cultures, economies, the environment. And all along the way, it's bumping up against limits. Limits we don't see here because the diagram is incomplete. So let's go back through. Let's fill in some of the blanks and see what's missing. Well, one of the most important things that's missing is people. Yes, people. People live and work all along this system. We'll start with extraction, which is a fancy word for natural resource exploitation, which is a fancy word for trashing the planet. What this looks like is we chop down the trees, we blow up mountains to get the metals inside, we use up all the water, and we wipe out the animals. So here we are running up against our first limit. We are running out of resources. We are using too much stuff. Next, the materials move to production. And what happens there is we use energy to mix toxic chemicals in with the natural resources to make toxic contaminated products. And of course, the people who bear the biggest brunt of these toxic chemicals are the factory workers. So you see, it's not just resources that are wasted along this system, but people too. Whole communities get wasted. So what happens after all these natural resources are turned into products? Well, it moves here for distribution. The goal here is to keep the prices down, keep the people buying, and keep the inventory moving. We shop and shop and shop, keep the materials flowing, and flow they do. Guess what percentage of total materials flow through this system is still in product or use 6 months after their date of sale in North America? 50%? 20%? No. 1%. 1. In other words, 99% of the stuff we harvest, mine, process, transport, 99% of the stuff we run through the system is trashed within 6 months. In the end, what happens to all the stuff we buy anyway? At this rate of consumption, it can't fit into our houses, even though the average house size has doubled in this country since the 1970s. It all goes out in the garbage. And that brings us to disposal. All of this garbage either gets dumped in a landfill, which is just a big hole in the ground, or if you're really unlucky, first it's burned in an incinerator and then dumped in the landfill. Either way, they both pollute the air, land, and water, and don't forget, change the climate.
No. And that's where we gotta stop and really think about this. This stuff has no effect on the climate. They're trying to trick us into thinking it is, and then trying to make us feel salty and guilty, or sorry and guilty, and blame ourselves for what happened to the environment, when in all actuality, they're the ones messing up the environment way more than what we are. Not saying we're not contributing, but not as much as these corporations are doing. But they're trying to use that as a disguise to cover up what they're doing with the climate, and tricking us into thinking that what we're doing is having an effect on climate change, when all we're doing is having an effect on the environment. We're not having an effect on the climate. They're messing with the climate with their weather weapons, and right? Tap in and walk with us, man. You feel me?
Recycling. Does recycling help? Yes, recycling helps.
My fault, son.
Recycling helps. Recycling reduces the garbage at this end, and it reduces the pressure to mine and harvest new stuff at this end. Yes, we should all recycle, but recycling is not enough. Recycling will never be enough.
It's not just about products in people's homes. We've got to think about the raw materials that produce our products. Obviously, there's fantastic opportunities with recycled materials, and we can and will go zero waste. And there's opportunities in a circular economy, but we're still dependent on natural raw materials. Let's take cotton. Cotton's brilliant. Probably many people are wearing cotton right now. It's a brilliant textile in use. It's really dirty in production. It uses lots of pesticides, lots of fertilizer, lots of water. So we've worked with other businesses and NGOs on the Better Cotton Initiative, working right back down to the farm. And there you can halve the amount of water and halve the chemical inputs. The yields increase. And 60% of the costs of running many of these farms with farmers with low incomes can be chemical inputs. Yields increase and you halve the input costs. Farmers are coming out of poverty. They love it. Already hundreds of thousands of farmers have been reached. And now we've got 60% better cotton in our business. Again, we're going all in. By 2015, we'll be 100% better cotton. Take the topic of 100% targets, actually. People sometimes think that 100% is going to be hard, and we've had the conversation in the business. Actually, in fact, 100% is easier to do than 90% or 50%. If you have a 90% target, everyone in the business finds a reason to be in the 10%. When it's 100%, it's kind of clear. And business people like clarity, because then you just get the job done. And I think everybody would agree that now business has to take full responsibility for the impacts of your supply chain. Many businesses now, fortunately, have code of conduct and audit their supply chains, but not every business, far from it. And this came in IKEA. Actually, in the 90s, we found there was a risk of child labor in the supply chain. And people in the business were shocked.
There goes that child labor again.
Acceptable. So then you have to act. So a code of conduct was developed, and now we have 80 auditors out in the world every day, making sure all our factories secure good working conditions and protect human rights and make sure there is no child labour. But it's not just as simple as making sure there's no child labour. You've got to say that's not enough today. I think we'd all agree that children are the most important people in the world and the most vulnerable. So what can a business do today to actually use your total value chain to support a better quality of life and protect child rights? We've worked with UNICEF and Save the Children on developing some new business principles with children's rights. Increasing numbers of businesses are signing up to these, but actually in a survey, many business leaders said they thought their business had nothing to do with children. So what we've decided to do is we will look and ask ourselves the tough questions with partners who know more than us. What can we do to go beyond our business to help improve the lives of children?
Yeah. See how they try to always put it on the children? They've been doing that, Pops. They've been doing that. Oh, they've been doing that. Why do you think they're out there trying to colonize space right now? What do you think the Space Force is all about? They're trying to colonize space, map space out. You know, just think if you found an asteroid. Think if you found a moon that was full of titanium. A moon, find a moon. You find an asteroid that was straight, that was straight diamonds, that was straight copper. I'm talking about the size of an asteroid the size of Texas. You was able to harness that joint and mine it and have a never-ending supply of iridium, tungsten, or whatever it is. Think about that, man. Yeah, man, that's when you're going to be on some old Star Wars type shit. Hey, man, tap in, walk with us, man. You know what I mean, man? Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. You did. You know? What? What? You know, we're being made to consume each other and ourselves. You know what I mean? We're being made to consume ourselves and each other. You know, human settlement zones. They want to reduce consumption by calling it responsible consumption. Responsible how so? It's very responsible to consume the products that we produce for y'all, genetically modified food, genetically modified fuel, less and less resources, assigned housing, assigned employment, no personal transportation, massive rail system or automated vehicles to reduce consumption, to keep people off the freeways. Everybody has to have a car. It's too much consumption. It's too much pollution in the air. Y'all gotta understand where they're going with all of this stuff, man. I want y'all to be able to put this together and see where they are going with this, what they're doing under the guise of so-called helping us with these sustainable development goals. But what they're actually doing is putting us under a strict global structure of being told what we're allowed to do. Matter of fact, setting up a system to where as long as we behave within this new system, we're going to be allowed to do a lot of stuff. But if we don't behave according to the system want us to do, how they want us to do it, that's going to affect what we'll be able to do, what we'll have access to, where we'll be able to live, what type of health care we get, what type of education and type of schooling, if any, our children get. And I want y'all to think about violent radicalization and homegrown terrorism. Right? It wants to eradicate that. Yeah, man. Y'all know about that old Soylent Green, man. You know. Just terrible, man. You hear me, man? This is what I'm talking about when I talk about the Ouroboros agenda. We're being made to consume ourselves. So much so that they're tricking us into thinking that we're consuming so much that we're actually having an effect on the climate. There's not an amount of trash that we could reduce as a human family to change the way the climate reacts or the climate acts or operates. Right? When we use a technology like voice-to-skull technology, blast wave accelerator technology, blast wave accelerator technology, it's going to come a time where you're going to have to pay the price for that, so to speak. You know? And I just want to put things in perspective for y'all so y'all see where the stuff is going and where it's headed, man, because I'm sitting up here trying to tell y'all, man. They ain't playing no games. Telling y'all, man. Oh my gosh, man. Just like it, man. It's actually a company called Soylent Green now, too. Pops, I don't know if you knew that or not. All right. Yeah, man. I want y'all to just look at this map and let it soak in where y'all see them green parts at. That is where it's planned for humans to live. Nowhere else. I want y'all to think about that, man. Right. Smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering. Tap in and walk with us, man. Do you understand me? It's crazy, man. SDG 12. Responsible consumption and production. I want you to understand what this stuff means, man. I want you to understand the severity of it and what stage it's at right now. We're still at a very crucial stage, man. We're at the beginning of the structure of the new system. It's coming right, it's like right in our face. Yeah, man. UN Agenda 2030 for Global Sustainability, Sustainable Development Goal number 12, reduce consumption and production. And as y'all see, the very diabolical ways they getting this off is by selling it to like it's somehow going to help us, enhance us, make us better. You know, actuality is putting us on a more strict slave structure, global this time, cashless, being monitored and surveilled by a global, electronic, unintelligent, artificial intelligence powered grid system called the smart grid. all connecting us via human brain computer interfacing through a neurological, holographic, physical, illusory construct called the metaverse. Do you understand me? And this is all part of it, man. I want y'all to be able to see how this all fits together. You dig? And that's about it, man. That's all I got to say about this one, man. Tomorrow night, I'm going to go a little bit more in-depth. Or Wednesday night, I'm going to go more in-depth. Or Wednesday afternoon, I'm going to go more in-depth because we're talking about the climate action and resilient plans. Y'all heard me speak on it, and I touched on it briefly, but I didn't go in on it. So I'm going to actually read, y'all. We're going to break down my city, Columbus, Ohio. We're going to break down our city's climate action and resilient plan. Right? I think a lot of y'all be surprised at what y'all going to hear when I break this thing down, man. And I'm pretty sure similar legislation, because that's what it is the law, is prominent and prevalent in y'all cities as well. I wouldn't doubt it at all, because the UN charter is in effect in all 50 states. If I'm mistaken, I could be wrong. I could definitely be wrong, man. You know. So smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Share your social engineering, man. Smash that like button, man. Click on the bell, subscribe to the page, man. Share your social engineering. You know what I mean? We did 3 shows today, man. Tap in, walk with me, man. Bring you all this raw content, man. Shout out to my brother Red Supreme TV1, man, for being the inspiration. You hear me? 3 shows in one day. We lit. We popping over here. Let's go. Bring you all this diversified content, talking about all types of real, raw things. Nothing fraudulent, nothing unauthentic. You hear me? It's beautiful, man. Tap in, walk with us, man. So click on the bell, subscribe to the page, share your social engineering. You know what I'm saying? You want to send a financial contribution, you sit up there and go ahead and do it. You dig? You dig? You dig, y'all? Support real stuff, man. Support real stuff. You dig me, man? Shout out to my pops in the building tapping in with us. You dig? He's a real one. Very fortunate to still have my pops around. You dig? Don't take that for granted. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, they made a whole company called Soylent Green, Pops. And did y'all know that this was a movie by Charlton Heston? Or starring Charlton Heston. Right? Tap in with us tomorrow, man. We're having a beautiful show tomorrow, man. You did. Beautiful show. E&E Tuesdays, paying homage to a legendary producer. You hear me? It was Kanye before Kanye was Kanye. You did. My brother Jay Dilla out of that Detroit area. We're going to be paying homage to the brother Jay Dilla tomorrow. You hear me? Rest in the essence to Jay Dilla. That is who we paying homage and honor and respect to, celebrating. Nike Boy Zeke, what's happening, man? My nigga Nike Boy Zeke in the building, man. What's good with you, man? You hear me? We're going to be celebrating the life of legendary hip-hop producer Kanye before Kanye, Jay Dilla. Out of that Detroit 313 area, man, Slum Village. You understand what I'm saying, man? Let's go, man. What y'all know about Jay Dilla on them tracks, man? Oh, my God, man. Rest in the essence to Jay Dilla, man. You know? Definitely one of my favorite producers. Are you in YouTube jail? What happened, Nike Boy Z? Somebody that sat up there and reported you, man? Somebody that sat up there and reported you, bro? Somebody that sat up there and flagged you? Man, don't tell me y'all done sit up there and flag my nigga Nike Boy, man. See, y'all gotta relax, man. You know? Y'all gotta relax with the police tactics, man. Very unmanly, man. Very unbecoming, man. You hear me? That's crazy, Nike Boy, man. Red just got blocked too. Red should be coming back on tomorrow. See, that's why I tell y'all, man, we got to box cleverly with our language, man. Certain things is not a good thing to address and talk to, man. We fly, man. We the real ones. We don't have to talk about none of these fuck niggas or none of this fuck shit. Yeah, man, Red's coming off a weak flag, man. I think tomorrow he'll be off tomorrow. Red should be back on Supreme TV when he been streaming off of Red Supreme TV too. That's why you gotta have you a backup. You hear me? But yeah, man, Red done sit up there. Somebody sit up there and flag Red when he was talking about that gang shit last week when he was breaking that shit down, man. Niggas don't be wanting to hear that stuff, man. Then you got 2 weeks, Zeke. Damn. Sheesh. Got to box cleverly with our language on here, y'all. Everything ain't worth time about. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we got to leave certain shit alone, man, and let certain shit die down, man. You hear me? Because when you talk about certain things and address certain people, you know, they got followings, and then they send a squadron at you. Next thing you know, you got a whole brigade of haters flagging and reporting your page, and next thing you know, you get cut off midstream. They cut you off midstream. You hear me? Tell me I'm lying. I know for a fact. Cut you off midstream and then send you an email talking about you got to strike. You'll be able to operate from your page for a week, 2 weeks. You won't be able to go live or post. You can interact and go tap in and comment on comment sections, but you can't post nothing on your page, on your community, or videos or shorts or any of that stuff. Yeah. That's what's up, Nike Boy. That's what's up, Nike Boy. Well, I'm just saying, man, subscribe, man. I mean, box cleverly. You know what I mean? You talented, bruh. Let's talk about you. Fuck these other niggas, man. Talk about you and that music, man. Nothing else. You know what I mean? That's just from a brother to a brother. You feel me? Fuck all them niggas, all that whole genre, that whole sector. I see what they about to do with that. And you don't want to get caught up in that, because that's some old violent radicalization, homegrown terrorism type shit. And you do not want to get caught up in that. You don't want that to be the algorithm that you are synced and linked with as time progresses. Trust me. Matter of fact, y'all might want to do y'all's best work to separate yourself from that. Because I'm telling y'all right now, you gang niggas, y'all gonna be the first ones that get hit and be the subject or be the victims, right? Y'all gonna be the first ones that get hit and the first victims when they start hitting the people up for violent radicalization and homegrown terrorism and spreading ideologically based violence. Y'all gonna be one of the main targets, you gang niggas. Tell you, Nike Boy Zeke, man, you too talented, bro. Talk about that music, man. Fuck these niggas, man. You feel me? You do not want to be synced and linked to the algorithmic energy of the gang sector, the street hood sector. That is a defunct sector that is designed to crash. It's going to consume itself. It's going to collapse upon itself because it's going to be used as a bastion for ideologically based violence and violent radicalization and homegrown terrorists. I'm sitting here trying to tell y'all, man. That's why I don't even, man. Y'all can have it. I ain't about to sit up here. I might speak on, like I say, occasion when I was in the joint and all that, but that's not going to be the topic of every stream, every pre-recorded, every short. We ain't going to be talking about just being in the joint. I ain't trying to manifest that type of energy in what I'm doing now. That stuff is behind me. But y'all definitely going to get a good story every now and again about me. We ain't going to make it the topic of discussion, though, as if we're selling and promoting that type of lifestyle. You dig? Just some game for my brethren. That's all. Concerned loved one to another real one. We done been through all of that. Ain't no need to keep indulging in that. You feel me? You know what I'm talking about? Ain't about to get me, man. Go ahead and hit that join button. Join up. Get a membership to your brother, your brethren, your brother, man. Contribute. You should be contributing. Go there to Nike Boy Zeke, man. Go subscribe to Nike Boy Zeke. Listen to that fire music, man. Go over there, give my nigga a reason to keep motivated, to keep making that fire music, man. Go over there to support Nike Boy Zeke. He be chopping it up about some real shit, man. You know, we got to address what's going on, but y'all got to understand that certain things must, be either left alone or treaded lightly upon because they're a part of the agenda. And, you got to be able to realize when you are contributing more to the detriment than more of the betterment. So you don't allow the unintelligent artificial intelligence to be using you as if it has the ability to outthink us. All right? Stop falling into his trap, y'all. Talk about something different, man. If we start actually talking about different things, showing the unintelligent artificial intelligence different things, it'll be different. It'll start to conform to what we want it to be and what we need it to be versus the other way around. Tricking us into consuming ourselves as it makes the profit off of that. We ain't even profiting off our own trauma. Oh, but the unintelligent artificial intelligence definitely is. How long are you going to continue to participate in this Ouroboros recycle, circular, secular situation? Something you got to start to ask yourself as a man, And since we the men and we the rollers and controllers, we got to make sure we do something different. That's why real ones need to link up and interact with each other and support each other. Hit that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page, sharing social engineering, smash that super chat, super thanks, super gifts, hit that Cash App, hit that PayPal. Yeah. All of that. You hear me? It's valuable. It's worth money. It's worth paying for. It's worth paying for genuine stuff. You feel me? Versus fakery. Tap in with us tomorrow night. We paying homage to my brother Jay Dilla out of that Detroit. I'm talking about world famous, legendary hip hop producer. I call him Kanye before Kanye was Kanye. You hear Kanye talk about Dilla, he'll tell you, man. He'll tell you you can tell who you can tell who his inspirations is, man. I noticed. Yeah, man. Yeah, we're gonna get into it tomorrow. I know L gonna like this one too, because he's a Dilla fan too. He's a Slum Village fan, so we're gonna get into it tomorrow, man. Make sure y'all tap in. Rest in the essence to my brother Jay Dilla. Oh, I was sorry when his brother passed. You know what I'm saying? Him and Phife Dawg had the similar situation, man. That's kind of spooky just in itself right there. But we're gonna get into it tomorrow, man. It's Taco Tuesday tomorrow. I'm gonna go give me some birria. And I got a good idea where I'm going to go get it from. It's going to be a beautiful thing, man. Hey, when you make your birria, make sure the shells is made from corn, flour shells. And when you fry them there, you make sure you use that Oaxaca cheese. You dig? Use that Oaxaca. Tap in, walk with us, y'all, man. I appreciate when y'all come through, man, to show y'all support, man. I love it, man. 3 shows in a day. You know, talking about I did 3 shows today. I've been reined in all day. You know, said today would have been the perfect day just to, you know, lay up with this little thing. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? It was up here in the way. It was just raining all day. So I just been chilling. And I said, you know, I'm going to just go in all day, man. And then I just did that. Tap in, walk with it, smash that like button, click on the bell, subscribe to the page. He did. You know. I'm going to leave y'all with some O-E-N-E. You did. You know, smash that like button, man. This is what they want us to be, man. We're going to have to go ride out like this, man. You know, shout out to my brother Glitch the Guarantee. E&E, let's go. See y'all tomorrow, man. That membership.
Yeah. Glitch the Guarantee. 2020 got E&E so clear. Let me get to it. Glitch, nigga, for shit I do on these beats, nigga, I'm legendary. Niggas get to acting like bitches, okay, they Tyler Perry. Hide the women and kids, shit about to get very scary. Sticky bandit street while you home alone like Marvin Harry. Up in smoke for real, nigga, I'm blowing heavy. Rolling up be all that I need, it be my method Mary. All my niggas be locked and loaded, we mercenaries. Type of gas I got in this blood will make your vision blurry. I'm in the clouds a lot, I make the pilots worry. Turns out the shit is my fight song, like Katy Perry. Ready for war, soon as I hit the door. I'm ballin', nigga, I'm Kobe as soon as I hit the floor. Taking every shot, shoot that bitch till I score. Hall of Fame bars, I'm Barry Sanders and more. The way I spit this shit, you niggas better take note. The guarantee, when you see me, know I'm up in smoke. Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
I ain't trying to hear that BS. Please spare me a lecture. I was made to be a diamond because I was born out of pressure. My dad was a G, but the drugs got the best of them. Some grind on their own while others might invest in you. Just long as you plant the seed and grow it like a vegetable. Everything will happen when it's supposed to, like a schedule. Every day I thank God and try to add another decimal. A pretty face is cool, but I need an intellectual. Making moves in silence really speaks to highest decibels. They always said the loudest in the room was the biggest fool. When I go up in the booth, close my eyes and see the visual. Not butcher boys, but trust me, it's about to get critical. Chunks, yeah, we slid a few, knocked them off casually. You claim you on my level, but really that's a fallacy. You still waiting on handouts, that's such a travesty. You're not even amongst my stars, let alone the galaxy.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.
Sick positioning, running shit commissioning. You ain't seeing us, not sure what you're envisioning. We still winning, you in danger and it's imminent. Bunch of sticks outside, walking like decadent. E&E, on fire, man, we sizzling. Leave the scene flickering, damn, they're sickening. No witnesses, damn, all that soliciting. We pack a rainstorm, man, you niggas drizzling. Still riding hot like cars, no air conditioning. Yeah, still blowing loud pack while you whispering. Handicap flow, leave them crippling. Sick discipline, all that mob penmanship. How you rate your bars? Insignificant. I stand behind my bars like imprisonment. Glitch the Guarantee 2020 C division. There's nothing to lose if you always win.
Here's the lesson learned. We roll that fire, light that fire, then we let it burn. Up in smoke, nigga, losers gotta wait they turn. We set the city on fire, nigga, court adjourned. We don't need no water, let that motherfucker burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke, let that bitch burn. Now we up in smoke.